report. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Patrick is going back into the classroom, and he's going into kind of a different school. Well, I mean, we're in this exact same district, but it's a complete opposite environment than what I teach in and probably what you teach in as well, for those of you who are teachers. And this is not going to be like a teaching lesson. So if you're not a teacher, don't think, oh, I just need to jump off because this doesn't pertain to me. Because what he has done is he went to a teaching thing. And as he was sitting there was like, oh my gosh, like this can so be a business thing. It can so just be a life thing. I think it's awesome that his school provides this for their teachers, because I know they want it for their school, but just for their teachers' lives and mental health and all. I just think it's so cool, because my building in the exact same district does not offer something like this. So he went to, I'll kind of let him explain what it exactly is, but he has a book, and there are 7 habits in this book. He's going to kind of do an overview tonight so we don't get overwhelmed. And then our goal is over the next 7 weeks after tonight, take one of those habits and really dive into it and see how we can relate this. I want you to be thinking business, but I really want you to be thinking life. With
Definitely
this,
life.
I don't want this to
fall into place.
It's all going to kind of relate together, but be open, take notes, ask questions, and it's kind of awesome for him too, because he's learning this as well. This is not, it's not something he's mastered, but I think this is going to help, because what's crazy is he's going into 4th grade and his kids already know this. So they're going to really help him learn these things too. And then he can share that stuff with us. So
yeah.
Go ahead. I got my notes ready.
All right. So just a little background before we get going and dive into this. So my school is 2 teachers per grade. And we won't have more than like 15 to 17 kids in our class. So it's a little country school. And from what it was explained to me when I took the job, that this school, like back in the day, probably 5-ish years ago, was a school very similar to Erica's, probably very similar to what you guys as teachers, any teachers on here probably see, like, just your typical disrespectful kids, like just, kind of letting the prisoners run the prison type of deal. And then I don't know where it came from or who brought this up or who made them start doing this program, because I wasn't here. But like all the teachers out there have said, like, it completely changed everything for them as people, for them as teachers, and then for them as a school, because like Erica said, like, the kids out there know this stuff. Like each grade level is responsible for a habit and learning it. And then I don't know, there's probably some way, like, day that they, like, the teacher or like the kids teach the teachers. I don't know. Like, it's that level. Like, these kids and these teachers are amazing. And just a little background story on where this all kind of came full circle for me before I had even known about it really or gone to the trainings and stuff. This was beginning of summer, like the week out of school. I went out there because I finally got my key. I was just kind of checking out the school, checking out my room, that type of stuff. And summer school was ending. And so I walked in and didn't know that there was kids in the building still. And heard like kids talking or whatever, and the lights were out, and I just kind of like darted off into the darkness because I didn't want to be seen. And I'm the only guy out there, the only male, like literally the only one, not even a janitor. Like, I am it. So like a, adult man walks in the building and the kids are like, who's that? Like, I'm Santa Claus or something. And so I like doing stuff in my room. I'm about to leave, and I'm about to walk out the door, and these kids are standing in the hallway down the way, and I hear one of them go, "Hey, who is that?" And I was like, so like I stop, I go back around the corner, and there's these kids standing there, and there's a teacher standing there. I hadn't met her yet. And they were like, "You're the new 4th grade teacher, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes." And they were like, "We knew it because you're a man." And I was like, okay, cool. Like, nice to meet you. And then it was the weirdest thing, like, I've never seen before. And these are 3rd graders going into 4th grade. They were my kids. And so they were like super excited because like there's a possibility that they would have me as a teacher, and they're seeing me for the first time. And they made that very apparent. And so like they got like in this single file, like straight across the line, shoulder to shoulder, and they all like one of them started, and they all just fell into line. They all shook my hand and told me their name, first and last name. Like I shook one kid's hand just thinking like that's their jam, that's their thing, like that's what they do. And then they all were like, "Nice to meet you. My name is blah blah blah." And I went down the line. I was just like, and I'm sure the teacher that was standing there was like, laughed at my face because I was just blown away. Like these third grade
because you walked in my
kids.
classroom, third graders last year, and they're like,
yeah. So I was just like
so
blown.
different.
I was absolutely just because people had told me, but when I took the job, they're like, "Man, Rikers is like they got it like together out there," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, whatever." Like, no, like they got it together, like it's legit. And so that was kind of the big thing for me. And I was like, "Holy cow! Like these kids are the real deal." And I'm not trying to make it seem like this is like the most unbelievable place on earth, like Disney World. I'm sure that there's kids that are runners. I'm sure that there's kids that talk back, but it's the overall culture of the building. And it's because of this 7 Habits stuff. I mean, it's the only thing. We walked around everybody's room the other night because we're the only ones there, just to see like if there was anything that I needed up, like I had to have up, like if there was anything as a building that
like in my room, we
teacher had
have to have these certain
Yeah.
ugly math posters.
Yeah.
Like
So-
everybody has them.
Right. So I just was like, I just need to know, like, before I start decorating, what I need to have up. And every teacher had the 7 Habits posted somewhere, like creatively fun, like colorful. And so the kids just live it and breathe it. And so let's fast forward. I went to this training, 2 days worth, like 12 hours total, just grueling in this like really small library in Louisville. Like there was like 40 of us in there. It was hot. But it was fine. Like, it was cool. All the teachers that told me before, they were like, this is seriously, like, life-changing. Just go into it with an open mind. Like, you're probably going to be a little overwhelmed when you leave. But, like, it's seriously, like, it applies to everything. And so I did. I went into it with an open mind. And, like, within the first hour of sitting there, I was like, holy hell. Like, this is the real deal. Like, I just kind of flipped through the pages of the book that they gave us. And I was like, this is stuff, like, it doesn't have to do with just your business or your classroom. Like, if you apply this to your life, you will become a better person, which in turn makes you more effective in your business or your life or whatever it is that you're trying to focus on. And it was funny because I was sitting there and I just thought to myself, like, we could use this. Like, we could use this, us. Because everything, like all the videos and stuff that were played were business-based. Like, it was, going into meetings and those types of things. And like, they related everything to like big business. But the lady that was leading our training found ways to relate it to teaching so that it applied to us. But everything was towards big business, like making yourself an effective person to, help you out with your business and those types of things. So I was like, this is literally like, it's exactly what I was envisioning for us to something like this for us to do. And it just kind of fell into my lap of like, we should do this. So like she said, it's a lot. I'm just going to give you like a quick overview. There's 7 habits there. And so there's like a circle and 6 of them are built into the circle. And the 7th habit is the one that runs around the outside that keeps it all together. And they kind of told us like the 7th habit, if you do the 7th habit, the rest of it will fall into place. If you don't do the 7th habit, it's going to start to unravel. You're going to like think of it as like you have a nice, pretty package put together, but like the second that a piece of the tape tears or something like that, like it starts to slowly unravel. Now, if you want to know what that 7th habit is, I will tell you. The 7th habit is sharpening your saw, which means taking care of yourself, making sure that you are personally developing yourself, making sure that you're taking care of yourself, taking time for yourself, you're working out, you're eating right, you're drinking enough water, you're getting enough rest, all of those things. Because if you don't do those things, you start to slack on everything else. And the second that you slack on one thing, you slack on another. And then it just snowballs. You feel me? Okay, so if you don't take care of that outer circle, habit 7, the 6 in the middle don't matter. Okay, so that was the big one for me, and that was the last one we did, and it all kind of made sense the way that they explained it to me. So habit one is, let me get to it here. Habit one is be proactive. And I'm just going to give a quick overview of these. If you want to jot the notes down, you can. But habit one is be proactive.
I'm going to put you right there. You can jot it down. I'm definitely jotting some little things down. But we have found an audible book that relates to this.
Oh,
and
yeah, I guess I should have said that.
We are going to talk about seeing if we want to do it as a team, or if we want to invest in like the workbook or what we want to do.
Yeah.
We'll look on Amazon at the end of this call.
You can buy it, I think, the paperback book for like $8 on Amazon.
So
I have like a teacher edition. Like, this is not what it looks like on Amazon. It's blue with white, or white with blue and red writing or something like that. But mine's like it has like a workbook, and it has like questions like how she led us through the training. So however we want to do that, I mean, like I've said since day one, I'm going to get off on a tangent here, but like I've said since the first time that we talked like this, like, I'm invested in you guys. Like, I want to help you guys become better people and become better business owners, because in the long run, it just makes for a better you. It makes for better people around you. And the people that you surround yourself with are who you become. And so I'm invested. I want to help you. And she's told me like, I'll help you guys, referencing the shit sandwich,
yeah.
Which I think is awesome, because like that was just something I came up with on a whim, and like it actually like applied to you guys, and you took it away, and like you're using it. So that was like super cool for me, because I mean it's nice to know that you guys are taking it seriously, and you want, you're taking my advice and you're taking my help, and because that's what I want. So however you want to do it, if you want to buy it on the app or you want to buy it
yeah.
Or if you want to buy it on paperback, whatever. If you just want to like get on and listen to everybody work on it,
you need to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I want you to get away from this whatever you want. So if you want to invest in it and get the book and read it, we could do that. If you want to just do it on the app and listen to it the day of, like on Sunday mornings or Sunday afternoons, that way it's fresh, and then we talk about it, and then we move on to the next one. Doesn't matter. Or I can just teach you. Doesn't matter to me. So whatever you want from this is what I will put in. Okay? So think about that as we go, and then we'll talk about it either tonight or later on this week, so that we can get books ordered if you guys want to do that. So habit one is be proactive.
Oh, I wrote it down wrong.
Habit two is begin with the end in mind. Okay, so be proactive is kind of self-explanatory. Like, just be proactive. Like, that's there. But begin with the end in mind is like, you have to have a purpose behind everything. You have to have a vision behind everything. If you don't, like, if you start something and you're like, oh, I'm just starting it to see what I can get out of it. Like, most people did that with Beachbody, and then it became whatever you want it to become. But you have to start, like, that's why she always says, like, you want to get your shakes paid for, like, okay, like, start the business, get your shakes paid for. That's beginning with the end in mind. If you want to start this business to become a coach, that's beginning with the end in mind, because you're just like, teach me to become a coach. Like, you just want to become a coach. If you want to just be here for the personal development and be here for the accountability groups, beginning with the end in mind. Like, you just always have to have a purpose behind everything. You can't just start something without having the finish line in mind of, this is what I want out of this. Because if you don't, there's no purpose. There's no reason for it.
And it's okay if that changes,
yes,
too.
Exactly.
Like, because your path is always going to change. Like, yeah. I just wanted to get my shakes paid for.
Right.
And you all know that. That's not why we're here now.
Correct.
So it's okay if that changes. It's not okay to not have that vision. And that's something I have written down on my thing for this week. I've got to redo, and keeping that end in mind, that end can continue to look different.
Right.
You went over this with me the other night, so I kind of like had that ready to say, because it made me sit there and really think about, like, okay, if I just would have kept the end in mind the whole time, once I got my shakes paid for, I probably would have stopped, right? When you hit Success Club, don't you just want to stop? I mean, I said my goal was 20 last month, and I hit 14 and had 2 apps out, and I was like, well, that's pretty much 20. I'll just wait there. And I ended at 14. Those apps never went through. They're probably not going through this month, because I ended. So the end in mind, I think we have to think of always going towards that. But if you reach that goal, that's not the end. Continue to push forward.
Correct.
But if you're just sitting there with no goal or no purpose,
twiddling your thumbs, there's no reason.
then there's no reason to go after that. So I think that's the difference, because that really was like a light bulb moment for me when I was listening to that.
Right. Third habit is you have to put first things first. And if there was one of these that I would say that we are terrible at, it's that, like, awful. It's just like managing your time and making sure that you're focusing on your highest priorities first, and then letting that trickle down to, whatever's not your must-dos and your have-tos, those types of things. Eliminating what's not important. Planning out your week and sticking to it. You have to stick to it. If you don't stay true to it and stick to it, why'd you plan it in the first place? Unless something comes up, obviously. Like, you have this or that you have to go do that you didn't know about on Sunday when you planned your Wednesday.
Raise your hand if you've sent messages today. Like, you've done Carl's tracker. Exactly. None of us have. Raise your hand if you're in Success Club. Exactly. None of us are. Right?
Right.
This is my biggest weakness here.
I would say almost everybody, if they say that they put first things first and that's like their strongest suit, they're probably bluffing. Because I feel like that's something that everybody sort of just sucks at, because it's human nature to like get sucked into like scrolling on whatever or watching your show, which those like you have, and this is why like this is such a delicate thing for me, because while I was sitting in this training, they're telling us these things and I'm like, well, sometimes you need that. Like sometimes you need to just sit on the couch and eat food and not really care about the world for a second. Like sometimes you need that, but you have to. But
I've already checked my downline this morning, and I just came in here to have 1 hour of work time, and I checked my downline. I checked my subscription orders. I cleaned my email. Right. I planned my week. All great things, but 0 messages got sent.
Right.
How am I going to hit Success Club if I don't send a message? I know Success Club's not the end-all be-all, but for me to get my shakes paid for and make the income that I know that I can't, I have to send messages.
Right.
So, y'all, we have to hold each other to that. And like Becca always says, you got to eat your frog first and get up and get it done. Well, I have to get up and get me done. Like, I have to get my workout in before Palmer gets up. Okay, then she's up right when I'm finishing. Then she's doing this and doing that. We've got to find that perfect time to get that done, to eat that frog before it becomes 9 p.m. and we haven't sent messages.
Right.
You know?
Okay. I should have said this like 20 minutes ago, but focus on the screen for a second here. Okay, this is important. So this is the maturity continuum. I'm just going to call it like the really important circle of events. Okay, so this is, you probably can't, can you guys see that okay?
You'll probably be able to screen share.
Yeah, so like you see how the blue circle around the outside is habit 7? That's sharpen the saw. That's what's kind of what I was saying. Like, you have to focus on yourself and making sure that you're taken care of first, because then everything else can start to leak. All right. So down here, it says dependence. Okay. That's not where you want to be. All right. Dependence is bad. Okay. Now, these are the first 3 habits that we just talked about around that orange triangle. Okay. That's called private victory. All right. It's called private victory because those are the personal things that you have to take care of for yourself, that you take care of. Then once you master those, you're at this level of the circle where it says independence. So you are independent and you're good to go. You've taken care of yourself. You have your private victory. Okay. Now, still, independence is not really where you want to be. If you're independent, that's good. You've taken care of yourself. But there's more to the bigger picture of owning a business or being on a team or being in charge of a team or being in charge of a classroom. It's the we aspect. Okay. The we aspect is up here. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about now. That's the last 3 of the 6, and that would be called a public victory because you're now influencing more than just yourself. So the 4th habit is thinking win-win. Okay, thinking win-win. Now, this one was hard for me because
are both of those wins spelled the same way?
Yeah, win-win, like okay, W-I-N dash W-I-N. So instead of thinking like win-lose or like win, like lose-lose or lose-win, whatever. So I'm going to give you just a kind of a broad overlook of this one so it makes sense to you so you can start thinking about it. So I'm a competitor. Like, I literally, like, if someone lines up next to me at the stoplight, like, it's Fast and Furious. Like, I want to beat you to that. Like, that's just how I'm just built and I'm wired that way. And this, I guess, says that that's a bad thing, which she kind of like, the ladies who leading the training kind of like took some shots at people that are really competitive. And I was like, easy, like, calm down. Okay. Like, so if you're thinking win, lose, you're thinking, I'm going to win, you're going to lose. That's how I'm wired. I think that's pretty much how she's wired. So, but that's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, I saw this one as a little iffy. Like, if you're thinking win for you or win for whoever that you're leading, like your team or your class or whatever, like, I think that's good. But it's the lose aspect that they wanted us to focus on, of not necessarily wishing a loss on someone else at the expense of your win, if that makes sense. But in sports, that's how it is. Like, you know what I mean? So that's where it was iffy for me. But I saw the big picture of what they're talking about. So you think win, lose, you think I'm going to win, you're going to lose. You think lose, win. You think walk all over me, everyone else does. At the like, I will lose as long as you can win. Okay? Don't think that way. That's what they don't want you to do. Okay, so those first two, they really don't want you to think that way. The third way is lose-lose. If I'm going to lose, so are you. That's Eeyore. Think the Eeyore mentality of, well, like, everyone else beats me down, so I want you to be beat down too. Or the Grinch. The Grinch wasn't happy. He didn't want Christmas, so he wanted no one else to want Christmas either, or want presents, or want to be happy. Okay, so that's a really good comparison to the lose-lose. You don't want to think that way. That's the worst way to think. Win. So you just think win. Like, as long as I win, I don't care if you win or lose. So it's not win-lose, it's just win. I want to win. So whether you win or lose, I don't really care. As long as I win, I'm good. That's selfish. Okay, you don't want to think that way. All right, that's self-centered. You're not taking in the needs of other people. You're taking in your needs only, and it's just power hungry. Okay? Win-win. Okay? This is where we're getting to the top of the ladder of where you want to think, where you want to be. Okay? That is, let's find a solution that works for the both of us. So instead of me focusing on a win and you focusing on a win, let's focus on a win together, and whatever benefits the both of us, that's what we want to do. Okay? Not plan A, not plan B, but plan C. Okay? That's kind of how they want you to think. So that's where my sports mind came into to where I was like, I don't like that, because, like, I'm not going to stand on a sideline across from another team that has worked their butts off just as much as I have and be like, well, you know what, guys? We're all just a part of Team Winner, and I want you to win just like I want to win. Okay? So if you're thinking that way, take a step out of those shoes. Okay? And think about just personally developing yourself and those around you. Okay? Because then it'll all start to make sense. And the last way, which is the best way they said that you want to think, is win, win, or no deal. Okay? So you want to, let's find a solution that works for the both of us, or let's just not even do it and scrap the idea and move on. Okay? So that's what they say. The 5 and the 6, the win-win or the win-win or no deal, is the way that they want you to start catering your thinking to, of let's both get something out of this that benefits us, or let's both get something out of this. That's the main focus. And if we can't get to a certain point where we both agree, it's a wash. Let's move on. Okay? So that's kind of what that is. And we'll dive into those a little bit more as we go. Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Okay? Seek first to understand, then to be understood. That is my habit for 4th grade. So, like, that we have to really pound into our kids, I think, is what I was told.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So we'll get to that one. All right. We're not gonna get into that right now. That'll be a main focus for like 5 weeks down the road. Okay. Habit 6 is synergize. Okay. That's SYNERGIZE. Synergize. Creative cooperation. That's another way to say it if you want to come up with your own little thing there. Creative cooperation. Okay. Synergizing is basically just valuing each other's differences, putting those differences aside, and making sure that everything is running cohesively and that there's not a rut somewhere along the way, because the second that you get stuck in a rut or you trip up, then everything kind of starts to tumble behind it because you can't move forward. Make sense? And we'll talk a little bit more in depth on that one also. The 4, 5, and 6 are a lot more in depth in the way that you want to approach them and the way that you want to think. So once we get to those might even be like a 2-week each type deal. And we can do 2 weeks each with each one of these if you want to. We can take as much time on this as you want to take. Like if you're not understanding one of them, we can come back to it the next week. But I think 4, 5, and 6 will be that way just from me going through that training, because like we went through, like we did like an overview of everything, and then we did habits 1, 2, and 3 like almost in half a day that first day. And then 4, 5, and 6 took like the whole day the rest of the time. So I'm just kind of gauging like the time that we took on them. And then habit 7, sharpen the saw. Okay. And that's the one around the outside, that if you don't take care of yourself and do the things that are necessary to keep yourself afloat, then like I've said before, like you can't expect others to take care of themselves if you don't take care of yourself.
And right now we all are, like, because we're following Morning Meltdown, we are all crushing it. You know, we're showing up for ourselves.
Yep.
It's the perfect time to remember that.
Right.
And to continue that when our 100 days are up. I know 100 days seems like really far away right now, but you know how fast these programs go. And when we get to 100, we have to remember what we did and how to continue, and then just share that with other people so they know that they can also sharpen their saw.
Right.
I think that's a really big takeaway too, is we get to sharpen our saw, but we also get to show other people that they can too.
Right.
And that's pretty darn cool.
It's called the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, by the way. I don't think I put the highly effective people part in there, but it's focusing on these 7 habits to become a highly effective person. Because once you achieve highly effective, like if you're a teacher, that's what your goal is, highly effective. So like that's really the epitome of like being a professional, being a good person. Like you want to be highly effective, because once you achieve highly effective and you try your best to stay there, that means that everything else is just falling into place. And we're all a work in progress all the time. So you might achieve highly effective, but then you might take a step back because you slacked on one of the habits. So it's just but focusing on the things that you need to focus on to become that way. What are you looking at?
I think I can share this link. So what I'm putting in the comments is the link. It's $8.89 to buy the paperback. It's an Audible credit. If I was my creditor, I would probably just be doing it like that. $5.99 for Kindle if anybody's interested in doing it. I'm not going to lie to you. When I listened to the preview, it was not.
I really like this voice.
It was not Mastering Your Mean Girl kind of voice, but
I really like this voice, but that's just me.
So,
he's an interesting guy. But I guess the part that I know of his voice, I was able to see his face too because it was a video.
Right.
So whatever you want to do, like you can not get the book and then just show up on Sundays and get out of it what you can get out of it, and I can try to help teach you. Or if you want to get the book, like I'm not saying that we have to do like a book study, but it might be a little bit easier for you to follow along and those types of things if you get it, either be able to listen to it or see it and read it and those types of things. So
it's Prime.
Whatever.
I just bought it.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be here in 2 days.
It's like $8. So
I bought it because it's $8.
So whatever you want to get out of this is what I want you to put into it. But just know, like, I'm throttled down. Like I'm going, because this is stuff that I have to know. Like I have to know. All right. Like teaching pays the bills. So like I have to get good at this because it's what my school does. But I just thought like this was perfect for us to focus on because it's personal development.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's everything that applies to daily life. So if you can take care of these 7 things in this book, in your daily life, then it's going to trickle over to everything else and just fall right into place. So next week we'll do habit 1.
Okay.
All right. So buy the book if you want to buy the book. Get it on the app if you want to listen to it.
Audible.
whatever. And if not, show up on Sundays and we'll talk and we'll get it and we'll work our way through it. All right. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Last thing, I'm going to still record for just a second. I had an idea kind of hit me today. You're fine. I won't be here too much.
Have a great week, girls.
I never finished getting Ultimate Portion Fix certified. I started it. I was just crazy, super busy with school when it came out. I think it was like testing time when I like couldn't even function, period. I've had all summer to do it and didn't do it. And I'm thinking about starting it the first week of school. If you're an Ultimate Portion Fix, if you bought the certification package, you got 5 promo codes today. 5 more promo codes on top of your other promo codes that you have. I currently have 14 promo codes to give out. I'm like, no promo code left behind. I got to give out 40 promo codes. So I am thinking about, tomorrow I'll go live in the team page with this as well, but I'm thinking about running a August Ultimate Portion Fix group. Starting it over like completely from scratch, like day 1. Probably not starting it though until like maybe a week from now, like a week or 2, whatever you think. I would love to hear input on this, to give people time to buy their packages, get their workbook in the mail, kind of do like a relaunch. I know we have promo codes to give out. I know we have Morning Meltdown to give out. I know we're loving Morning Meltdown, but I don't know about you, but I, at the end of the month, talked to like all my people because I wanted them to purchase at the end of last month. And I don't really have anything different to offer them today than I did, 3 days ago. Promo codes are great. So glad they're back, but that's the last message I sent them, right? So maybe that wasn't their thing. Maybe they've seen us talk about it. Maybe they just need some nutrition help. So I don't want to run this alone. I would love to run this as a team if anybody wants to help, if anybody wants to do it. I thought about if you guys aren't interested, I'll open it up to SB, whatever we think is great. We're just kind of doing a relaunch of the Ultimate Portion Fix, and with my people, I will be doing the videos. I think Kelsey did like 7 a week, or like, it was like almost every day, or like 2 hours a day or something. I will do like a video a day, 5 days a week. And if it takes us 3 years to get through it, at least we're doing it, right? So I think that if we just take our time, if we talk that we're taking it slow, but it's going to get us in the mentality of going all in with Ultimate Portion Fix and using it correctly, not just throwing shit into our containers and calling it a day. So, yay, Sierra's on it. Sound like something we're interested in? I hate to add something on everyone's plate. You're all looking at me like, the 3 people who are on here are teachers. You expect me to do something else when I go back to school. You flash your big mind. But I think tomorrow I'll post about it in the team page. I think I'm going to change my post to, talk about it. And I think my post is literally going to be about, I've always wanted to do things with the time. When the program launches, that's when you're supposed to do it, right? And then if you miss that, then like, who the heck are you? Or what if there's a mom out there who hasn't been cleared to work out yet? She could do this. Or what if our Ultimate Portion Fix people, our Morning Meltdown people just aren't really getting nutrition right now? So we can send out mass emails to all of our current people and invite them to this group as well. We can send out emails to anyone who bought the Ultimate Portion Fix under us and invite them back to the group to get a refresher, and just kind of relaunch the program and go all in. So if anybody would like to do that, I would love it. Thank you for the comments over here. I think this is great. Yes. Yeah. I don't think we can launch it in a week. I think we need to talk about it to our people. Honestly, like obviously Mondays are great to start groups, but maybe like the 18th even, isn't that a Monday? No, that's not a Monday. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have my calendar in front of me. I think 2 weeks.
That's a Sunday.
The 19th.
Then the 19th. Let's shoot for the 19th to start the group. I could even open the group now, and we could start putting people in and telling people, like once you've ordered, you can go ahead and start, but we are kicking off video one on the first. And for me, if I have extra time, I will probably go ahead and get started because then that gives me buffer myself. So let's go ahead and say it. We're going to kick off our Ultimate Portion Fix group on August 19th. But I'll open the group tomorrow and get it all set up. How do you want to run it? Facebook or My Challenge Tracker? The question is.
My Challenge Tracker.
I love My Challenge Tracker. I hate being into My Challenge Trackers to log shakes and workouts. If we could just turn off the log, shake, and workout for the one group and run it there, I would be so happy. But I hate when people feel like they have to do both.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate Facebook groups too because I don't know.
I feel like people don't get as involved in the Facebook as they do in My Challenge Tracker. So
Totally. I 100% agree. So My Challenge Tracker,
Yeah.
we can do 2 groups. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
And I will do some research and say, okay, if we did 5 videos a day, how many? Well, let's just look at it. I've got it right here.
a day.
No, sorry, a week.
Oh.
Yes, 5 a day. For
Oh,
you.
no.
Only you, Becca. Only on the first week of school and only for you.
I'm out.
Are there only 6 modules?
I can go grab my book.
I have my book right here. It says 6. Wait, but there's multiple videos within each module.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is there like a table of contents that tells me that? I'm still recording. Whoever watches this recording is going to hate me.
There is.
You can log off at this time. No, I'm just kidding. Why don't I just get on Beachbody on demand? I'm gonna stop recording.